It's official. It's live. Awesome. We are here on, I almost forgot it was Thursday, Vlog Thursday. So I would have scheduled this in advance. I thought tomorrow was Thursday. Today has, well, this week's been fun. And I did a live stream because I did one with Chris. For those of you that were following Chris's channel, we did live on Saturday with a project that Chris was doing that I joined in. Chris had all the technical details sorted out. I only went there to go goof off with Chris and have fun, which it was a great time hanging out with Chris and his crew. And he's going to be a little after he has that video up, but it's going to be a fun video of a big site-to-site wireless project or I think there's a site, no, anyway, wireless project. I'm not saying all the details. Watch for Chris's video and you'll learn about all the details. I was just there for moral support, help drink beer, and have a good time. And oddly, I think I've known Chris for almost 2 years now that I've talked to him. And this was the first time I met him in person. He doesn't travel to this side of America too often. So we are not as far away as we could be. Like if I was in New York, then he would be as far as possible away. But I'm in Detroit, so it's still pretty far. I think it's a 6 or 7 hour flight, so it's quite a hike. Versus from where at Pittsburgh, where he was doing his project, was only 3 hours for me to drive to. So totally worth it. Anyways, for those of you that don't know, we have the stickers. Keep your crimp hand strong. And it made me think of that because we have these available for people always ask, like, where do we get our shirts? Where do you get those? Like, we have a Teespring store. I've got links there. It should be a link in here. I can throw it in. There's links on our website for affiliate stuff. Maybe I'll make those more prominent, but you can get stickers and shirts and all that stuff. So if you see any of those swag, not swag shirts, not like ones that vendors send us, but other shirts, yes, that is all stuff you can absolutely get from our Teespring store, and it ships to Europe. So, and I don't know where else, but we've got all the options turned on to ship everywhere that Teespring can ship to. They're doing all the order fulfillment for us. I just don't have time to do actual order fulfillment, which means it'll get there faster than if we did it because it's not a process I have to send shirts and package them. But Teespring does a great job. Anyways, so hello from New Zealand, UK, me critic, ha 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 ha. Norway, Milwaukee, Denmark, Las Vegas. Awesome. Yeah, finally cut the live stream. Glad to be here. Yeah, live just a minute or two late. Oh, that's fine. I didn't say anything important. I don't know that I ever say anything really important through babbling on these live streams, but you know. Speaking of keeping your crimp hand strong, this is going to be, I don't have all the stuff in this room. Actually, there we go. We got this that we're going to show you how, not in this video. This is me goofing with it. But these are keystone adapters keystone crimpers to make crimping keystones way easier. So this is a pretty cool, snazzy little device that you get together and it will do keystones. Can I get a look at that? It's kind of cool. And I did something else. That's why the lights are on here in the live stream. I can cut to the overhead so you can see what's going on over me. You can see that. So cool. I don't ever think I've had this on for a live stream. Maybe, I don't know. I can't remember. Anyways, so there's going to be some more videos done with stuff like this, which is kind of cool. Me and Corey are going to see who... Corey thinks this is too fancy and you don't need fancy tools, which I am a person who believes that very frequently. Too many people get caught up in gadgetry. They think there's a shortcut to everything and there's a gadget. And don't worry, there's always someone willing to sell a gadget to you to allegedly make your life easier. This covers every industry. There's a video by Alton Brown. If you're not familiar with him, he did the Good Eats, and he has a great video where he laughs and makes fun of kitchen gadgetry because that industry is just filled with crap people want to sell you that allegedly will make it easier for you to cook, as opposed to just learn how to use a sharp knife will save you most of those stupid tools that you can buy. Anyways. Let's see, terminating a bunch of Cat 6 in the house later. Yeah, so this is, we're going to, with the other empty rack back here, we're going to go and talk about cable falls. We're going to talk about how to pull the cable, make it look pretty, make it look nice. and show you some methodologies for that. So that's going to be a fun video coming up. Me and Corey are going to do. And a few people have asked, because the video is popular, of that wall we did. We never did that last cavity in the wall, for those of you that seen the fishing wire through a wall video. So we will be doing a video with the one with the installation in it, with the metal studs soon, because I want to throw it away. It's in the way. I've been hanging out here for a long time, and I've been, busy. Not a MikroTik fan? They're okay. If you want something cheap and hard to configure, MikroTik is great. They just have a convoluted, complicated, compared to many other devices, interface for getting that stuff configured. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of them. I don't hate them per se. I'm just like, nothing that impressive of them, and they've had some security issues in the past. And I know the security issues were mitigated based on, it was insecure by default, but if you know how to do it, is what everyone's arguing. I'm like, well, things should be secure by default, and you should have to open up ports to not have flaws. That's another problem I have with MikroTik. So, anyways, yes, the cadmium stuff is really nice as well. That's for sure. Oh, yeah, MikroTik, some of their hardware is reasonably fast. I don't think it's slow. It's just convoluted sometimes, the setting up, and inconsistently available sometimes. Like Chris did a review, and I wanted to do a review as well, but it was on back order constantly. Chris is lucky because he got his. Like the little 10 gig SFP, I like that. I think that's a great. I wanted to review that little box. Good luck finding them. They're constantly on back order. I don't know if it's because they're popular, but back order for 6 months, there's popular and there's just not available. So that's a different issue. I just uploaded another Tesla video the other day. I have like 2 or 3 more I've already shot and haven't edited, so those are going up, including I'm gonna have a charging video because I've got a juice box, which is really cool. It lets you see exactly how much you charge. So I'll be talking about that because I didn't find, Chris probably has one of the better videos on the different NEMA charging options, but I wanted to go a step further because we're actually going to be purchasing at least 1 or 2 more electric vehicles for my business. So we haven't got enough business I can buy every Tesla yet, but working on it. But we are looking at some cars for my techs to drive around locally. And once you have the EV charging hookup on your building, it's crazy inexpensive. 300 miles on a Tesla, and this is going to apply to other vehicles roughly, depending on their wattage efficiency. But 300 miles on a Tesla is $5 to $6 in electrical fees when you charge it off-peak times. And if I charge at peak wattage, it would cost me $11 to go 300 miles. I've got the juice box is what we're using. It gives you all the calculations, watt hours, and then you do the other math of the efficiency, because the Tesla, as I understood, has a 92% efficiency and conversion rate. So I'm going all down into the engineering and explaining the science and put some spreadsheets together to show you how much it costs to run an EV vehicle, because I wanted to know and I dug into this, so I'll make a video about it. But those same things have me thinking, this is pie in the sky at the moment, but our UPS is getting old, and I may build a Tesla Powerwall. I know I could go buy one, but they're expensive. But there's a couple people that show how to build your own Powerwall, and I don't need something as big as the Powerwall. So I was looking at that as an alternative way to build a UPS, and I'm going to be exploring that as an option to run our equipment on that. So that's going to be kind of fun. Yeah, it's interesting. A fleet of Teslas, that would be kind of cool too. So, yeah, it's kind of interesting, the whole everything about the Tesla so far. Like I said, I'm not gonna. I don't think I'm gonna put it to another channel. I thought about that, but mostly I'm just going to sprinkle some Tesla videos in between all the tech videos, because I know there's going to be someone to complain that I have too many videos on Tesla or whatever, but whatever, there's always going to be someone to complain about something, so why not that? That's certainly an issue. For those of you that followed the last couple of weeks, we're into the 3rd week of the Verizon disaster, which has a hopefully funny. Well, this part was abused to me, not the client at all. Client's just angry, not at us, but at Verizon/XL Communications. So basically, we learned that they were buried in tickets. They were very behind in tickets, and they could not give us an ETA after several weeks of updating when they're going to get the things fixed. And I said, well, then if we can't get it fixed, I want to port our numbers to another carrier. And they're like, oh, I'll transfer you right away. We are more than happy. And what shocked me more is the port took 4 days. So it's scheduled for tomorrow. It's 4 or 5 days. That's it. Like, boom, done. That's really fast for a number port. Like, they were happy to move the numbers rather than try to close a ticket because they don't appear to be able to close a ticket. I'm going to do a specific video with a timeline to put it out there about what it was like to deal with Verizon XO, because it was an absolutely awful experience from both my client's perspective, my perspective as a tech, trying to coordinate all this because this equates to billable hours in the client, and Verizon's handling of all this was just disastrous from top to bottom. And I think there's 20 phone numbers involved, so it's not like it's like one small business. This is a larger company with like I think 20 or 25 phone numbers, DIDs assigned, like, and then more on SIP, et cetera, et cetera. This is not like some one small business that got screwed. This is a big company who spends a lot of money with Verizon with a lot of services. So it's going to be I'm not trying to make a bash video, but simply I'm going to show the tickets and show the fact that Verizon could care less. I don't know if this will enact any type of change at Verizon. I'm not here just to poke at them and say they're lousy. We already knew that from the get-go. I'm going to make a video that is concisely explaining what happened, and Verizon can feel free to rebuttal or come explain it, or probably just ignore it and move on, going, what are you going to do, switch? Because we're everywhere. You're just one little YouTube guy making noise. Whatever, I'm going to put it out there. Let's see. I'll trust an autopilot plane, but not a Tesla. I'm fine with it. Hasn't killed me yet. You know, it day's young. I'm an autopilot home. You could look at the Outback Power, very reliable program. Yep. Very neat. Wife works in telco and IT. Good situation going internally. She looks worse. Yeah. Porting can be a pain. There's a lot of things that had to be done to make this happen. So I'll be talking about the porting process as well. You looking for a small home office firewall router? PF Sense is the way to go. Absolutely. That SG1100 is a great choice. The large Ubiquiti install went well. We have another one that's going to be reasonable size. It's all with a 10 gig switch in the middle, hubbed out to a bunch of 48s and a bunch of other stuff. That's another video going to coming once we confirm that's a deal. Verizon shows just a year ago, working with Comcast took forever to get along the phone lines for a fire alarm. We couldn't get past the inspection until we had them for the fire alarm. Yep. Yeah, will Tesla make an aircraft? So there's a challenge, and people are working on this. They're making not planes in the traditional sense. They're making more like picture big drones. And I believe they're a Michigan-based company that has some of them out there. They're really cool. One of the challenges is my Tesla weighs more than a normal four-door sedan. So batteries have a lot of weight, but that weight could be changed by not using the same exact battery design that Tesla uses. There's a lot of protection in the Tesla for that. So you could make it lighter, but at the risk of, there's safety reasons they made it like that. But the challenge is, there's a lot of power, but you're also increasing it. So when you think of any internal combustion engine, if we want to get down to the science and math of it, there is energy density. So you take your lithium ion cobalt, which is what currently is in my Model 3. That's the general formula is lithium ion cobalt batteries. And you look at the energy that is in them, it is quite a bit. But when you take an ounce of gasoline and think about how far that moves a vehicle with an internal combustion engine, you're talking about a vehicle, and most internal combustion engines waste almost 80% of the energy conversion into heat, versus Tesla has like a roughly, if I understand it correctly, a 92% conversion efficiency. So gas just ends up weighing a lot less. So an ounce of gas versus how much energy, you can start thinking about that from a math equation and go, oh, that's why we put fuel in things, because we are, and they're usually, if you talk about prop planes, obviously going to be internal combustion, piston driven versus the jet engine planes, which are a little bit more efficient with the jet propulsion, but the same thing. The energy density versus weight that you get with petrol fuels is why they go through and still don't build electric planes. Electric planes would be awesome, But when you talk about that energy density, there's going to be some challenges. And I went through an entire podcast with some guys from Michigan, like I said, I think from Michigan, that are building these drones that are like that. But it's a really cool concept. They're two-person quadcopters that can take you places. And you don't really have to fly them per se. They're not like as hard to fly as a helicopter. They just took a drone, made it bigger, and made it easy for you to control. So you don't have to have that knowledge you would have to go to flight school to make it work. So that's my rant about that. Obviously, I've spent some time, if you didn't notice, researching this because I think it's a really great idea. And I have flown in several planes, small ones that my friends have. So we've actually talked about this a lot. Yeah, Chevy packs and BMW ones. Look at the way the BMW does their pack. They look like the flat batteries. They look like large cell phone batteries. The BMW ones have these really interesting flat pack ones. Tesla's a very different battery design compared to anybody else. Like, they are way different than any of their other competitors. Well, I take that back. Nissan Leaf is similar in a way. But whatever. What kind of tech are you most looking forward to? Doesn't have to exist yet. Maybe a dream tech device. I think everything related to virtualization keeps getting more amazing, and I think that's a kind of cool. All the stuff around virtualization. So it's not as much that I'm future thinking of a dream tech as much as it fascinates me how all that works. And jets don't do disassembly, and don't try to disassemble them as much in the air. Yeah, you don't want to disassemble a jet while you're flying it. That's true. I don't know. I think that's a challenge they're having, whether or not they fall under the ultralight regulations, because that's actually, I think one of the challenges they have is they don't have a clear category for them, because they're so easy. You can find some YouTube videos of different ones. They've been testing them in Dubai, and I think the reason they're testing them there, one, there's some people with a lot of money in Dubai. Two, there's people with money and there's not a lot of rules in Dubai. So you can go, I'm going to build this quadcopter and fly rich people around, and rich people that have money for this go, okay. And I think Dubai goes, sure. So they have been testing in other countries, but it's really easy if you do these, so to speak. You know, a helicopter is a very manual. Oddly enough, we have a helicopter company as a client, and I've flown in them, and there's like a lot of skill needed to fly a helicopter. You don't just get in. I could not myself guess my way through. Maybe I don't think I can guess my way through a helicopter. The guy made it look really easy when I watched him fly it and ride in the front seat, but I really don't think it's as easy as he made it look. That's why they have training for it. But these devices are ones that can fly themselves, because the computer's taking care of everything. You're just kind of like, I can fly my drone really easy, and that's one of the things the creators had said. It's just easy to fly as a drone. So where does the FAA land on something like that? Land on it? Because will that allow them to say, hey, it just kind of flies itself, so we don't really need the regulations? I don't know. That's not a question they probably have a process for at the moment. This is very new technology, and that is fascinating. All advancements around transportation are going to be really interesting. And if you think of these things from an autonomous standpoint, where they could just land and pick you up and drop you off somewhere else, charge up when they land on top of roofs and bounce you around in a city like New York, where it's hard to get around, and that would be kind of cool. So it's a neat concept. That would also be a tech I'm interested in, for the person to ask that question, is different methodologies of transportation like that. Have you seen the beta UniFi UDM that looks like a beefy USB? We don't talk about beta stuff on the channel right now. That's all I can say. Been to flight school and used to teach. Very cool. Subject switch. Do you the invoice ninja add product markup feature? I have all my products pre-marked up, so all of the prices are already in there, but we don't have much hardware in there. Hardware we price through a spreadsheet that we keep track of, because prices change on hardware, so we reference our spreadsheet to make sure we have current prices. Yeah, the rich people are Dubai. That's probably a good way to put it. Yeah, no disassemble. Johnny 5 is alive. Yes, these things are becoming sentient. I have a question. Is it really true that even with 5 gigahertz, you won't get as fast a bandwidth as just Ethernet? If you are 1 meter away, there's no other noise. That is fuzzy. With the right perfect conditions, the perfect adapter, you can exceed gigabit with the right conditions, the right adapter. But then what are you asking? What if you also would then have to exceed it? You would have to have a connection to said device at over 1 gig. So you'd have to have a Wi-Fi that can handle over 1 gig and a connection to said Wi-Fi device, either bonded or a RJ45 like is supported on UniFi that goes up to 10 gigs. So there are parameters. So yeah, they actually got faster, but they have not, to my knowledge, the fastest Wi-Fi speeds will not exceed 10 gig. Therefore, yes, you'll always be faster at this present time in July or August 1st of 2019 with a copper connection, because copper goes to 10 gig more and more devices. So it's a loaded question. So you're always going to be overall faster when you're hardline, just because of signal to noise ratios, interference, and things like that. But Wi-Fi is really fast. So it comes down to your use case. It is a lot of people fast enough. I'm talking to you guys on Wi-Fi. I've only got my power plugged in. So can Invoice Ninja do like FIFO inventory? No, it doesn't have an inventory management system. So no, I think that's probably the better way to answer that. What are my thoughts on Windows Admin Center? I don't know that as a question. I'm not a huge Windows fan, so I don't know the question good enough. I have in front of me and on me, the shirt I'm wearing, my friends at Tech Supply Direct. That's why they are in the title. There is an offer code that you'll be able to use to get a good deal on these. They're an affiliate of ours. You can find them on our affiliates page. And we're going to talk about the server for a few minutes. I figured I'd bring a few questions up on it and see what people thought. Love it, hate it, whatever. There's always going to be both and people in all camps of this. So we're going to slide the server closer to me and use it as a place to pop my laptop. There we go. So this is a server, and there is a bunch of videos. As soon as I'm done with the FreeNAS Mini, which I do have to return, but this server's mine, so I get to keep it. So this is a server for them. Before I do that, someone asked if I play with Kali Linux. ParrotSec OS. So the I have videos on ParrotSec. You'll find them on my channel. So Kali's good. Don't get me wrong. I like it. ParrotSec I like a lot better. So, and I have another video I might get uploaded today or tomorrow about ParrotSec. What do I think of AMD Epic? They are epic. I love all the new AMD stuff. I'm excited to get it. But the price is up there right now. So yeah, great for buying new stuff. I think AMD is really going to be strong in the market with that. I'm excited and bullish on all the new AMD products. But we're going to talk about this server, which is going to be why you're probably going to be able to get better deals on servers, because the AMD Epics are epically kicking Intel's butt. What Dell PowerEdge do you have there? Oh, I'm still running Parrot OS on my laptop. That video will be uploaded tonight or tomorrow. This is not an R710. We're going to switch to the other video feed as soon as I find the adapter and plug this in. We're going to talk about what this server is. And then, oh, by the way, we're going to go overhead and we're going to talk about what's in this server and all this fun stuff. And ooh, it's going to beep at me for taking its fans out. And yes, you can do that. So we'll go ahead and plug this in and we'll switch. Let's see, there's this one. Hey, there we go. So what is this server? Let's look. I don't even know the numbers on here. Where's my summary? This is an R720 XD from Tech Supply Direct. So they were gracious enough to provide this server. It's going to be used for a whole bunch of upcoming videos. And I figured I'm going to start talking about it here because I didn't have another topic for the channel. I'll talk after I kind of go over the server. I will be talking to, we are redoing some of our MSP contract stuff, and I'm going to, when I'm done with that, kind of make a video talking about contracts. I don't know that I'll get to any of it in this time frame I have today, but I will get to that. A lot of people have been asking about that. We decided to rethink a lot of stuff, and I'm going to bring you guys along through the thought process of getting that done. But this is a R720XD server with a bunch of hard drives in it, and a lot of error messages because we've been poking away at it, and the intrusion detection's on there. And let's switch to the overhead real quick, just kind of give you a quick look inside. So let's see, we got to move this way a little more. Oh, I guess people are going to want to know the specs. Everyone wants to know the specs on the hardware. So hold on. We'll get that. Everyone wants to know the CPU. So let's go and look at the screen share for the CPU. It is a Intel Xeon E5-2670 at 2.6 gigahertz, and we got a pair of them in here. So we'll be talking about that. And there's a little details. These have level 2, level 3 cache. These are really reasonably fast processors here. And let's go look at the memory. So hardware, memory. And we've got 64 gigs of RAM in this box. So plenty of RAM for the virtualization videos we're going to be doing with it. Let me move over so I can answer some questions. Those are the general specs. And I'm logged in through the iDRAC system there. And we're going to be doing all XCP NG and some FreeNAS videos on this. So, yep. So, someone says they love the R720XD. It's a nice system. I call it when I'm done with the server. It'll be over here in the rack when we're done. So we're going to be doing a best price one I saw last summer was like $700 basic config. So check Tech Supply Direct. No doubt, if you aren't on their website right now, go there. And by the way, my offer code gets you 10% off, I think, 10 or 15, 10%, it sounds right. You'll get a 10% discount using our offer code with Tech Supply Direct. So, and if you're buying more than one, if you're actually buying for a client, you can get servers from them with warranty and buy them in bulk and get a discount, talk to a sales rep, and still get your discount from me. So, yeah. The couple things about the Dell servers. Yeah, the other ones are, I mean, they do run VMware fine. I am going to be doing all XCP NG on this now. And let's go to the overhead again and talk a little bit about the server. But the thing about these servers, one of the things about the Dell servers in general, and I'm going to do a separate, more in-depth video on this server, is they are easy to find parts for. So, for example, if this fan were to go bad, I can simply go get another fan off of eBay for really cheap. If one of these power supplies, which are hot swappable, goes bad, these are cheap. Matter of fact, a lot of times we buy even with the dual because it'll beep at me when the dual power supply, if one of these were to go bad. What do? You go buy on eBay and you buy a spare one. So you have two hot swap power supplies to stop it from failing and one in stock because I think I bought one off eBay for like 60 bucks. You can find deals on a lot of the hardware on this, so have extra hardware. This is one of the advantages I've told a lot of people when you get the Dell. They're so common in the marketplace that it's not a big deal. Like, hey, I kind of like them for that. I've got the plenum out of it, and we'll, hold on, I'll move this over here, so we're going to talk about that in a second. But they look nice when it's got everything put together and the plenum in it. So pretty nice, clean. You have really strong airflow. So the airflow flows through here, comes through the back. We've got spots in the back. We've got a USB. That's a USB stick that we have inside, a SanDisk that we have XCP NG loaded on. That way it leaves all the drives free. And it's a nice, clean layout. They've color-coded, so when you group the memory together, they have it all nice and color-coded so you know which pairings go where when you're adding the memory to this. It's all solid ECC. Now, another cool feature is this right here. This is our RAID controller, and this is another RAID controller. Now, we have two of them because this one has different features than this one. This one here has the IT pass-through. This one doesn't. When we get in depth on it, we're going to cover like some of those details of what the IT pass-through is, why you need it, or why you don't want to use it, and we'll do that in a whole server buying planning video. The other thing we got here is a couple SATA ports, and that's because we can put some hard drives back here. Now, we loaded XCP NG on a thumb drive out of convenience, but you can stick a couple drives back here, and I can get a little pigtail. This is a power. It's hard to see at this angle, but there's a little power adapter here. and you can pigtail it to some SSDs and put a pair of SSDs and leaving all your main drives in the front completely accessible. So that's a cool feature of this. Also, these pigtail powers are over here because this supports some PCIEs. So when we pop these out to put our PCIe in and slide them in, that also will allow us to power a video card on here. And I want to see if they can't get me one of the Tesla cards. I like Tesla, as you know. And one of the Tesla cards that has pass-through on it that will allow us to do a shared graphic. So we're going to get in depth on how to build these. And this is actually going to be an affordable system. And we're building another similar one for another client to help them with the virtualization system they're doing. And this is kind of novel. This is a little flip-out thing to hold the cards. It's got like a little riser on it. I don't know. These are neat. Like I'll when I do my in-depth video, I'll have all the different camera angles so you can see it. It's hard to move this camera on the fly to do these videos. Answer some questions here. Let me catch up. So yeah, so a lot of people are throwing prices out there. There's a lot of places you can get these, and parts for them and everything else. So yes, the RAID, that's one of the things I'm going to do about the RAID controller is talk to you about the different modes and which RAID controllers support which mode. That's an important thing. Yeah, Hyper-V to XCP and migration, we might be doing something like that because we actually just use cloning software to move VMs over. It's not as hard as people think. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Hyper-V, so a lot of people like VMware. I don't hate VMware. I'm not going to be doing any videos on it. It's not my favorite thing. I'm a big, huge fan of XCP-NG, so... Does the RAM speed drop when all populated? I don't think so, but I'm not positive, and I'd have to look that up. That's not something I have there. So, well, you can get an H310 and flash in IT mode, but the newer ones actually support it, and that's the part I was going to talk about. You don't have to flash them in IT mode, depending on which one you get. So what I'm going to do the video on is make sure you get this specific one, and when you talk to Tech Supply Direct, they can get you the IT mode version of it when they ship it. It doesn't have to be reflashed. You can. There is a different version, and there's a guy that's got a cool video on how to do it, but if you don't want to deal with that, like I don't, you can have them put the one that has IT mode. It's a built-in feature of the specific H310 that I have in here, and when I do my in-depth video showing you how to set these up, I'm going to walk through how to do that. Now I'm going to flip this around to the other side here, get things out of the way before it breaks something. So this can go there. This goes way over there now. You guys are going over here so I can still see this. I will spin it around the front for those that are curious of what's in this thing in terms of not as thin as I thought. When you're looking at the front though, that's the difference between this and some of the other ones is all these drives. And we'll slide one out for you. Now we got a mix of drives in here. We've got some SSDs, and you can put SSDs with adapters in here, which is what I have for a few of the drives. And then we have some, I bet they're down here, spinning rust drives down in the other trays. So we've got all of them in there. Now, a couple things we're going to show. One, when it's in IT mode, the reason you use IT mode is for things like FreeNAS. You want to do, FreeNAS wants to control the hardware directly. You don't want to use a, well you can, but it's not recommended to use FreeNAS with some other RAID because now you're relying on that RAID as opposed to FreeNAS. So if this was a FreeNAS server, oh yeah, you definitely want the IT mode and pass-through. If this is an XCP-NG server and you didn't want to use the RAID inside of XCP-NG, then you can RAID them yourselves using the RAID or a fast RAID controller like this one here. This is the, I think this is the Perk 7. Hold on, I bet it's on the box. Anyways, I'll have the details right. This is, when Tom does an actual video, he's got all the notes on the other side of the camera. Anyways, this is a fast RAID controller that can control it, and if you wanted the Dell system to handle it. You could build the RAID array out with this. It handles it, and now you don't have to worry about any of the RAID stuff. So if you're running it just as a virtualization server, that's another option to have that handle the RAID. So there's different methodologies. The reason we have the 310 in there now in IT mode is because we're going to be doing XCPNG, building it with ZFS, and then passing through the hard drives with a virtualized version of virtualized FreeNAS on here. So that's going to be kind of cool, and show you how all that works. Plus, this has 4 network slots. 2 of them are 10 gig SFPs. So we're going to be hooking this up at 10 gig for some of the tests, and just playing around with it and showing you all the different features. And off-lease servers are really good deals, and a lot of people don't realize how good of a deal an off-lease server is. And the reason it's such a good deal is because data centers want cutting edge all the time. And I know there's someone smashing it going, I would rather build it myself. Build it, don't buy it. I get it, but there's a lot of times these are ultra reliable. They're really well built. They were very expensive when they were built. It's kind of like when you get a used high-end vehicle, the same concept. They're generally, provided they weren't full of dust and all dirty, if it was well maintained, it's a good value, and why they hold a reasonable value, but not that new price. So you're getting a really good quality product for a pretty good deal. Now, this is one challenge that people, if you're very electricity conscious, yes, enterprise equipment, they keep making it better with each version, each iteration, but this being a few years old, yeah, it's as energy as efficient as these devices were several years ago. When you look at like the AMD line of products, AMD is game changing in terms of server efficiency. So that's going to be kind of exciting when those start coming on the market used, because they are way more energy efficient based on how much processing power they have. So this does, if you're in America, electricity is relatively inexpensive, so these can be really good deals. But yeah, when you compare it to building a home built system, way different. Let's see. 720 XT we use for camera. It must make a good camera server. Not wrong there. The problem is you have to use Dell cards or the Dell backplane won't work. Yeah, to some extent, yeah, but back to that, you can find them really cheap on eBay. It's not hard to get parts for these servers. There was a lot of Dells sold, so there's a lot of Dell in the market. So, would you get these off lease from Dell directly? Nope, I buy them this is from Tech Supply Direct. They're a new partner with us in terms of hardware, so we're buying some hardware from them, and they're offering 10% discount. I'll make sure that we have the offer code in this video, but you can find it on our affiliates page as well. Hey, from SoCal, awesome. So, yeah, 350 watt with all 48 cores. Yeah, they're pretty solid computers. I mean, they last a long time. Do you know it's possible to set a Ubiquiti switch as a gateway for a VLAN subnet with Ubiquiti USG so traffic does not pass through the Ubiquiti USG for the internal traffic? I don't know. I have had people ask me that, and I just don't know the answer if it has the ability. I want to say no. And if it does have the ability, if there's some way to do it, you're going to be doing it from the command line, and I do not support that configuration because it's a headache to manage, and when there's updates, it gets worse. Windows VMs are sluggish in XCPNG. Need a faster computer? It depends on how fast the system is. They're sluggish on a slower system. They're fast on a fast system. You have to have fast hardware. I don't know. I don't know how much more it is, so I guess that's a comparison video, is how much more efficient it is. I think it actually uses, well, here's the thing. This is faster than a 720, but uses roughly the same wattage, so in some ways, yes, it's going to be, but you're still pulling a decent amount of wattage out of it, but you're getting more processing power for the wattage, so yes. But it's still, I would have to look up what the idle wattages on this, but it's still a little bit up there. Yeah, picked up, and you can find some of these spec'd out with a lot of RAM. Tech Supply Direct actually sells more than servers, by the way. You can get really good deals on like all kinds of workstations, not just Dell. They do Lenovo, HP. They have a whole list of different equipment they do on there. So, Yeah, idlest 140 watt. That sounds about right. I think it's the same for the R710 was in the 140 watt range, but that's going to vary if you have a lot more memory and a dual processor set up, and depending on which processors are, yeah, it's gonna chew on some memory, or it's gonna chew on some wattage to be able to make those things happen. That's definitely a thing. Still use the Exchange server. Yeah, I only do quotes to remove Exchange servers. There's not many people using them. There's still a few. There's still a few people doing it. So, what Xeons are running in it? Let's jump back over to the hardware page. So this has 64 gigs of RAM, and it has Xeon E5-2670 at 2.6 gigahertz CPUs in it. Also, this is a newer, but check out the Virtual Console. It actually, there you go. There's nothing on right now, but if we turn it on, this Virtual Console is not that stupid Java one, for those of you that have dealt with that. So this will boot up and will work and not have stupid Java. So you can, does it have on right here? Or I gotta turn it on. Let's turn it on from the button in the front. Where's the button at? Way over there. See how loud this is. So this Virtual Console is completely HTML. I think it's HTML5. So I don't have to deal with stupid Java consoles. I don't know if this is killing you guys hearing me, so I'm going to turn it off. There you go. So you can console in. You don't have to plug a monitor in or anything like that. The whole IPMI or the Dell iDRAC system, which is what we're using here, does allow for all that. And this is another enterprise feature that makes it really nice to purchase any of these. Matter of fact, it will tell you all the fancy stuff, like how many watts it's using, current status is off, you can power control this. It hasn't been on since last week. It's been off for a little while as I've been busy. But it can tell you in graph all the wattage, all the usage. These are really nice enterprise features you get. And another reason that buying an off-lease server is really not a bad deal at all. It has all kinds of logging, too, for all the time, over time, how many watts it's used. I always thought that was really cool in here. Let's see. About the right sound? Yeah, no more stupid Java. That's... Yeah, I still using Zabbix. We still monitor environments with Zabbix. What else here? Here's a question. Speaking of HP D360's idea how to access ILO running IE9, I would never run IE9, so I can't answer that question. Yes, version 7 is way nicer than version 6. And these are things you can check with the Tech Supply Direct people to make sure that they have what you're looking for in terms of, like, they'll tell you what iDRAC version it is. Those are all different features. Because there's different levels of iDRAC for features it has. Higher level ones are nicer and have more bells and whistles. So, yeah, I'm not as familiar. You often mention SolarWinds. Is there a home free version software you would suggest for monitoring service processes? Zabbix is awesome. Zabbix will monitor Windows. Zabbix will monitor, all the Linux servers and everything else. So check Zabbix out. It's a pretty awesome monitoring program. It's not SolarWinds. SolarWinds is a very full feature software. I've got some demos on it. I really like SolarWinds, but it's not cheap. There's minimum requirements, minimum commitments you have to make to them in terms of dollars to make sure you're going to use it. It's what we use for our MSP package. It's very complete and includes web filtering, antivirus, and all these other fancy things like patch management that you're just not going to get with Zabbix. Because it also is inclusive with all the licensing that comes with all those things I mentioned. So, yeah, Zabbix is great, but it's still not going to be SolarWinds. I don't know of anything open source that's as complete as SolarWinds. And it's may or may not be because of SolarWinds' unique niche in the market. And SolarWinds has competitors, so they're not the only game in town doing this. There's all the ConnectWise, Ninja RMM. People really seem to like Datto. I've had a few people mention that. We're happy with SolarWinds. I'm not unhappy with them, so I haven't had a reason to switch. Everybody keeps telling me, go Datto. They seem to be the new hotness, as I like to call it. So, oh, cool. The same guy that has now switched like 3 things in all these years, and we've been on the same one for a number of years, is like, switch over here. It's a pain switching. I have a lot of computers on there. We would have to contact and work with a lot of clients to get all the software switched. It would be it's not a trivial thing once you get to be a little bit bigger as an MSP. So you kind of have to quit hopping around trying to find who's going to beat everybody by $1. And by the way, payroll's due on Friday, and when payroll's due, it's a lot more than SolarWinds. So it's not where my costs are. Libre NMS is pretty cool. Still not SolarWinds. Libre NMS I would compare to Zabbix. They're both good products. Zabbix, because of the Zabbix agents, is really solid. The Zabbix agents give you a lot of flexibility versus Libre NMS, to my knowledge, and maybe I'm wrong, doesn't have any that. Oh, Synchro MSP. Yeah, I've seen people mention them too. There's always some other MSP software out there. That's cool. Try them all. You can make a hobby out of it. I think some people do. I think they spend as much time switching as they do using it. But once you start getting to high numbers of devices, you're like, I'm not switching. I'm switching a lot of computers. There's a lot of work that goes into it, not to mention the retraining and of everything else. So we just stick. It's one of those. It's not my most significant cost. We've had a solid relationship with the company. It works. What else we got here? Yeah, Libre.ms is really cool. I don't know Zabbix complexity. There's a learning curve for sure with both Libre NMS and Zabbix. So once you kind of run through the concepts, and I have a video on that, it's not horrible. They have amazing documentation, but no one wants to RTFM. I RTFM to create the video. Then I interviewed a guy from Zabbix who was impressed that I actually took the time to read the manual. They have amazing documentation. It walks you through anything you want to know, but you have to read it. It's not just turn it on. So, yeah. I stay as far away from Komodo as possible. I do not like them as a company. Play any videos on cable management? Oh yeah, we've got a few. We talk about the cables we use. Most of it's just installing it nice and neat. We have more videos coming up, so yeah. Oh, yeah, and Zabbix does have their own tutorials they have, so there's options. And I'm about to wind down this stream, though. Oh, yeah, I seen Cloudberry change their name. I like the Cloudberry people. I think they're actually, like, I have conversations with some of their engineers. They're just great people. We are using Cloudberry for a handful of clients because there is a there's a gap. Gap is the right word. It's not a flaw. It's a marketing flaw. It's a marketing it's a gap in their product. We have clients that go, I have this much data. And SolarWinds goes, we don't have an easy plan for that. But don't worry, Cloudberry's got your back. Cloudberry's a really great product. I have a review of Cloudberry you can find on my channel. We do use it. We have clients. It really scratches the special need itch of, I need a lot of data. And we have companies that are really, due to the volume of data and the fact that they have multiple locations, they crisscross data to their multiple locations. And Cloudberry has just great tooling for doing that, imaging servers to other locations over VPNs as spots to land it on, and then putting it additionally in a cloud like Backblaze is an easy option for Cloudberry. You check the Backblaze button, and away you go. I love their software. I probably shoot a new video. I think it was almost 2 years ago I did a video, but their software is easy to use. Throw some, say, back up this, throw some credentials in there, choose the platforms you want it to land on, and away you go. Set the backup up once, choose multiple destinations, one local, one remote that the client owns, and another one in a cloud if you want. Away you go. Choose how many versions you want to keep. I do like the that. Oh yeah, there are data limitations with the, I really love the backup software. It's super automated, integrates a dashboard for SolarWinds, but the other side of that coin is there are limitations. They want to back up like a terabyte per server. And after that, you start hitting some overages. We've got clients that are like, what do we do with the 50 terabytes that we have, 80 terabytes we have? They're in different categories. You need different systems to back up large scale like that. So you have to have something different to back stuff like that up. Yeah, I have got that episode 56 queued up. It's in my podcast to listen list because I want to know the details behind it. I didn't ask because I haven't talked to him in maybe a month or so. It's casual. I have a conversation with him once in a while. Go to security cameras. I won't lie. We just did. Was this Reach? We did the Synology video and we used these. These Rio links are actually really good for the price. The quality is shockingly good on them, so I'm really impressed with them. I have some Amcrest floating around here. I'm not real impressed with them, but I am. If you're going, I want to put something in the home that I don't want to spend any money and I want pan tilt zoom. They're good enough for that. I think the quality is better on these, but hey, they're pretty reasonable overall. Hey, Dion. It says give a shout out to my wife Dion for me, please. Jamaica watching stream. Hello in Jamaica. Hello to Ryan's wife in Jamaica. Played around with Synology surveillance after watching your vid. Synology. We quoted a system yesterday for $37,000 for an install using Synology camera systems. We haven't got a confirmation whether or not we won the bid, but it's that big. Synology can scale to some pretty impressive stuff. So we talked to Synology people on it, and they seem confident that they can pull it off. They have a system that will fit the needs of this client, so we're excited about it. And part of the thing is the client has a ton of existing infrastructure, so we're adding cameras in addition to their already existing cameras, and their existing cameras are a hodgepodge of different brands, and they're all going to be able to plug into Synology, and that was an important aspect because the job with us adding 2 cameras is 37. They have existing ones. It would be that much more if we had to do a rip and replace for all cameras. So when you start looking at it like that, you're like, yeah, that's a big camera job, and Synology's got that. And we've done some smaller jobs recently with them, and we've been really happy. I got to do a follow-up video on it, but I love it, so it works. I didn't really compare the cameras. I compared the Amcrest and the Rio Link roughly because I was using them both in a Synology video, but it's kind of a rough comparison. I do show both of them. Sound isolating server racks. I have none of, well, I've seen them. We actually have clients that have their refrigerators is what I want to call it. They picture something that looks like a fridge, has a glass front, like picture like a commercial, like a Coke fridge or something that you would see in a party store. But that's where all the server equipment is, and it has its own circulation system. That was a weird thing, and I've seen a couple clients with those, and I found them really interesting, but I don't know how much they cost at all. They definitely kept the office really quiet. We pay our MSP that co-manage, and they do backups at SolarWinds, and they charge $50 a server a month with 1 terabyte. Yeah, that sounds about right. Like I said, up to 1 terabyte's fine. It's when you go over 1 terabyte, when you have clients that have a 20 terabytes to back up or more, the overages get kind of pricey. I mean, they have a process for it, but it's kind of a lot. And when you compare to how cheap, if you set up either Wasabi or Backblaze with Cloudberry, substantially less than what the overages are, and that's kind of a product gap to me that they don't have some plan for those people. They have a storage fee, and I get it. I really like the product. We've done a lot of restores with SolarWinds. We've seen how fast it works. Everything about the product's really solid, but yeah. When you have those off clients with big data, and it's an issue. Yeah, it is a shared pool on there, but they still get you for overages. It's a problem because you can have one client eat up your shared pool really quickly. Oh yeah, the video of the Brett and that was in the Tesla. That was definitely fun. So I have to get going. awesome that there's 180 of you. Wow, we got quite a few viewers here today. So I will do this, though. Let's go over, and I'll actually show you what I'm doing. No secrets here, folks. We'll go here, and I want to make sure I get that affiliate link in there or show you our affiliates page. I have not gone as far as taking on direct channel sponsors. I have a few people that want to do that, but I don't want to be influenced, so to speak, by some of them. But people like Tech Supply Direct, they're going to supply me some equipment, and they will give you a deal and me a deal, so that works out for everybody. I think this one's fun. I'm an empty box. It's lonely here. Please help fill this box out and become affiliate. Tech Supply Direct. So it's LTSERVICES. Put that offer code in, and I'm just going to go over here to the live stream and edit. Oh wow. Tech Supply Direct offer code. There's that, and I'm going to throw this in here. I just realized that these aren't in here. We got all kinds of affiliates for things. Here's my Teespring store. So we'll add that. So let's go back over to live stream. We'll paste this in. So our forums, things we love, other affiliates. If I don't do this now, I forget. And Teespring. Because you guys want those stickers. So there's save. It is now officially in the notes. I start doing these things. I got to do things real time, you know. I sometimes forget things. But for those of you that weren't here at the beginning, keep your crimp hands strong. These stickers are in the store. A lot of people ask, I mean, we always have silly things we did, and we just started putting. We have shirts that we've made that were just for us, and then people are like, hey, where do I get that? Where do I get that? Like we have these our hoodies and some of our shirts that look like meteors on them. We got all kinds of stuff that it's all in our store and everything. Like if you want any of it, like people say, how do I get one? I should probably do some giveaways for some swag and things like that. I'm not good because I don't know the process for doing giveaways. Like I got to have a process for that. I'm gonna reach out to Chris because Chris does giveaways. Maybe he can help me with that. Chris has actually been really insightful because he's a little further ahead in his YouTube journey than I am. He's been a great help and insight for things, just understanding how things work on YouTube sometimes. Let's see. Do you have... Yes, look for GFI/SolarWinds on my channel and you will find tutorials on it. It used to be called GFI that got bought. We've been with SolarWinds since the products we're using weren't SolarWinds products when we started using them. They started out as Hound Dog. Like there's a whole history. They were a company called Hound Dog that became Max Focus, that became GFI, that became SolarWinds. I think I may have one of those. That's like the history. One of those is wrong though. Like they could have came before the other. I don't know. Interesting though. Awesome. I love when people get their home lab set up. And that's what this is going to be. I'm doing a whole virtual lab video with this. That's actually why this server's in front of me. It's not just XCP-NG tutorials. It's going to be like diving into virtual lab design because it also helps directly related to people who ask, how do I get into hacking? How do I get into pen testing? Having a virtual lab that will all run on a single server is one, reasonable and affordable. Two, you can sandbox and control everything in one virtualization stack. And three, it's a lot of fun. So I want to make sure people have a good understanding how to do it, how to virtualize firewalls, how to virtualize everything. So it'll be like these series of virtual lab tutorials. And the folks at Tech Supply Direct want to make sure you can get a good deal on your hardware. So that's what the offer code comes in. And that's the kind of partnerships we like to work out with companies. So, hey, we can get you, my fans, a discount. And yes, all disclosure, there's going to be some commission involved if you buy from them. It's not much at all unless you buy a really lot of hardware. But hey, it helps everybody involved, and it's a win-win. Recreational server case use. It's an addiction, man. It starts as like one recreational server case use. Next thing you know, you've got an entire stack, a half stack, and then you've now filled the garage and a basement with these things. So... It's a problem. It's an addiction. It's a lot of fun, and it's worth it. Definitely a good time. Is there anything else before I wander off to go do whatever it is I'm doing next? Which I I want to go play with my Tesla, but I think I have actual work I have to go do first. I have been hammering out quotes, but I have more videos coming on things like I have to return the FreeNAS Mini, so I'm gonna do at least a couple more. The Mini XL Plus has to be returned, so I'm gonna do some more videos on it before I have to send it back. Actually, I didn't think he did enough in depth, but that's typical. But Linus did the video about the 45 drives and is it called the Jellyfish editing system? So I'm going to talk about video editing with a FreeNAS Mini because I'm going to edit the next couple videos on a FreeNAS Mini and then do a video on the FreeNAS Mini about editing the FreeNAS Mini. So it's going to get real meta, but I like that. It's going to be kind of fun because I edit on FreeNAS now. I don't have the data stored on my local hard drive for editing. Everything is backed up on a FreeNAS box that replicates to another FreeNAS box, but I'm going to show you how a home user can use it. And actually, maybe I can get, because there's small YouTubers that aren't as big as Linus. Maybe the folks over at FreeNAS will sponsor something, and I have my cousin who's a YouTuber, not tech related at all, and maybe they'll sponsor getting her a FreeNAS or something. I don't know. Maybe there's some opportunities out there. It would definitely get some more name recognition for FreeNAS. So. What else we have here? Yeah, I think the FreeNAS is with two 10 gig network ports on there that are RJ45 is reasonably priced. People are going, oh my gosh, I can build it for cheaper. Kind of. I might do a build it versus buy it, but you have to chase compatibility and things like that. Like, out of the box, FreeNAS Mini is going to work. And that's where a lot of these questions come in. And this is even why KBHD, I love that he took the time to address the Linus video, and he said, hey, I use this because I need a solution. You're buying an out-of-the-box solution that works. I don't have time for tinkering. I don't have time for whatever. I want to make my videos, and I want this thing to work. So there's a reason you should buy when you're at the level like KBHD is. He makes really high-end that he shoots in 8K wonderful tech videos. He's not someone who's taking apart enterprise servers or wants to tinker with FreeNAS and configuring it. He plugged it in, like he said, 90 seconds from the time he got out of the box, 90 seconds later, they're editing video. That's tough to beat, but that's also, they paid $30,000 for their storage server. Very different. They're in a category that I'm not. One day. So I'm going to talk about how to do something more affordable and how to use the FreeNAS Mini for that. So, yeah, I mean, you can build it out cheaper. You can buy it. It's one of those things, too. And what's your time worth if you spend a lot of time troubleshooting and assembling it? I have a billable rate of $200 an hour. So at what point is it not a cost savings? That's something you have to think about if you think about if you've got your billable rate. What's your time worth? And and you don't think about it that if you're saying, I just find joy in doing it. Well, then it's not billable. You're just enjoying doing it. And I do enjoy tinkering with hardware from time to time. But if you have a high billable rate and you're going to put 10 hours into it to save $200, you didn't save $200. How long does it take to make the money they spent? How soon does all the data goes away using something you don't understand? Dangerous to say the least. Well, that's a whole other thing too. If you set up something and you don't know what you're doing and you kind of muddle your way through it and do it improperly, there's a lot of time and energy put into getting some of these videos together. So you have another category of time, like shoot for 5 hours, edit for 5 more hours on some complex video, and that gets lost. And it may not be reproducible. Like it may be some one time you had some product given to you for X days and you had this much time to complete it and you had a misconfigured server that lost one drive and lost everything. I mean, there's a lot of things you have to consider. So, oh well. Anyways, I am going to actually wander off. I know I keep saying this. I will be doing videos and all this other stuff. It gets excited. There's 187 of you here, so I'm pretty happy. This is a good live stream. I think last time I only had around 150, so we've gained 40 more people, maybe people who are interested in Tesla. Should I just do a live stream inside the Tesla? Have a whole separate crowd? I'll hook my phone up and let the car drive itself around and people get upset because I'm not touching the steering wheel. That's why I did that at the beginning of the video, too, for you to see it. People get upset if you show videos of you not holding your steering wheel. I've learned this already on Facebook. I'm not going to drink alcohol in a Tesla, though. That's very illegal. Thank you, Team Rampage Services. Awesome for throwing $1 at us. Holidays in Europe. I need a Tesla sticker on my laptop. I think there's room. I need a Tesla card for this so I can do all the play on words. Build some workstation rack type servers. Yeah, actually, what this is here. Well, I shouldn't pull that. I think there's things on top of it. Anyways, this is a different build video I am doing. This is a fun video that I want to work on. I need time. I need to hire. I'm working on a strategy to hire another me. I'm a little bit difficult to duplicate, but as soon as I figure out how to duplicate me, so this me can do videos and the other me can do the me things, we're good. We're good. So we'll make that happen. So awesome. And look forward. I have a parrot video that I should, if I get time, I will do it from the time I leave here before I go home. Because I already recorded it all. I just haven't edited it. So I have the parrot video to do, and I have the, what do you call it? Couple Tesla videos where I dive into the energy costs in detail with the juice box. The juice box is really cool, and I talk about that. Thank you, Tyler Bigley, for $10. That is awesome. Yeah, it's 7:15 Eastern time. That's what time it is here. It's really sunny outside, but I'm definitely chilling out and going for a bike ride tonight, like pedal. I don't even ride my motorcycle some days. I just want quiet, relaxed. I'm here at 7 a.m. every morning, so I've been hustling for 12 hours. So I'm finally said, all right, I've had enough. It's time. I got to go do something else. All right, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you for everyone that's been here. Yeah, there's the button. Got the cool stream deck. We'll do one more camera overhead change. Be like, boom. That looks cool. I just like how that works. Boom. See all of you right here. And then you can see the delay that I see. So you can see now the difference between that and that. And thank you for those of you that threw money at me. It really helps. Because I'm trying to keep the channel not being the same stuff all the time. And as long as you guys keep using my affiliate links, it all adds up. We have the Amazon affiliate store. We have that. And I've been starting to say in the videos, hit the like button, because we live in an algorithm-driven life. And when you do that, it tells it. So everyone click the like button before you leave. It makes YouTube really happy and go, hey, people like that video, therefore we should show it to other people who may like the video. So I'm going to start saying that in the video. It sounds silly, but it does help a lot for the channel. YouTube's everything about indicators and algorithms, and they're trying to play you. And now I'm trying to play their system, and you can help me play their system. Oh yeah, go to the forums. Thank you. I try to stay active in there and post all the time and reply to everyone's questions, even when they're strange and I don't understand what the question is. I don't understand what the question is. So yeah, join the forums. I will reply to a lot of people there. If you want to hire us for work, we are available for hire. Head over to the Launch Systems contact page. And I learned something today. I learned. Look at this. So I didn't do this at all. I just found out that it worked, and it didn't work by magic. Contact.wrencesystems.com. If you go to contact.launchsystems.com, it goes to contact us. I didn't know this. I found out that my employees did that. I was like, I seen them. I'm looking through the message replies. I'm like, we have contact.launchsystems.com. Turns out we do. My employees set it up at some point in time. So yeah, so that was cool. All right, I'm out. Have fun. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and look forward to seeing you again. And that's it. Bye. Oh, smash the like button. Subscribe.